Before Florida became a land of cities, beaches, and tourism, it was a place few dared to enter. In the 19th century, Florida was not a destination. It was a challenge. Vast swamps stretched for miles. Dense forests blocked the sun. Dangerous wildlife, disease, and isolation defined daily life. Most of the land remained untouched, unexplored, and unforgiving. This was Florida in the 1800s, a frontier caught between wilderness and civilization. As empires fell and new powers arrived, Florida changed hands, borders were redrawn, and control shifted from Spain to the United States. With this change came conflict, expansion, and the slow push of settlement into hostile terrain. Using AI reconstruction, we rebuild 19th century Florida as it once appeared. From untamed wetlands and Native American territories to military forts, early towns and the first railroads cutting through the wilderness, every scene you see is digitally recreated to reflect how Florida looked, moved, and evolved during this pivotal century. This is not modern Florida. This is the Florida of the 1800s, where survival came before comfort, and where the foundations of a future state were quietly laid. Welcome to 19th century Florida, reconstructed through AI. At the dawn of the 19th century, Florida is almost entirely shaped by water and wilderness. Swamps, marshes, rivers, and wetlands define the terrain. Seasonal flooding makes travel unpredictable, while heat and disease deter settlement. Eye visuals show mist rising from swamps at dawn, slow, moving rivers, alligators lurking beneath, and wildlife roaming freely through untouched forests. Human presence is minimal. Isolated settlements cling to coastlines and rivers, surviving on fishing, small-scale farming, and trade by boat. Spain still claims Florida, but its authority is weak. Forts in St. Augustine, Pensacola, and Key West exist primarily to assert a nominal presence. Supplies arrive sporadically by sea, garrisons are undermanned, and much of the interior remains beyond control. Eye visuals depict Spanish forts, soldiers struggling in swamps, and distant settlements barely connected to official power. The Seminole tribes dominate Florida's interior. They know every swamp, river, and forest path. Villages are mobile and well, hidden, relying on natural resources for survival. Eye scenes reconstruct Seminole hunting, farming, canoe travel, and strategic movements through dense wetlands. Florida is their home, and they resist external interference. European empires weaken. Spain faces mounting pressure to relinquish control. The United States views Florida as a strategic necessity, both for security and expansion. The Fay-Adams-Fay-en-Fay's Treaty, 1819 * transfers Florida to the United States. By 1821, American authority is established. Eye visuals show flags changing. Military officers arriving, surveying parties, mapping land, and early settlements adapting to new governance. To secure control, the U.S. military builds forts along rivers, coasts, and strategic inland locations. Roads and rudimentary bridges are constructed to connect isolated settlements. Eye scenes illustrate soldiers clearing forests, fort construction in swamplands, and early roads cutting through wetlands. Conflict erupts as American settlers push deeper into Seminole territory. Guerrilla-style fighting dominates dense forests and swamps. Eye reconstructions depict ambushes, Seminole resistance, and soldiers navigating treacherous terrain under disease, heat, and constant threat. The Second Seminole War becomes one of the longest Native American conflicts in U.S. history, causing significant loss of life and forced relocations. With Seminole resistance gradually weakened, American settlers expand northward and central Florida. Farms and plantations appear, slowly transforming the land. cattle ranching spreads across the interior. Cotton becomes a primary crop in northern regions, while citrus and sugarcane cultivation begins in warmer areas. Eye visuals depict expanding farmland, cattle drives, and rivers being used for transport and trade. Florida is admitted as the **27th state of the United States FAA. Governance structures, tax systems, and infrastructure planning begin taking shape. Towns grow into cities. Tallahassee becomes the state capital. Jacksonville and Pensacola emerge as trade and port hubs. Eye scenes show wooden streets developing into more organized settlements, local markets, and port activity along rivers. Florida joins the Confederacy. Though it sees fewer battles than other states, it becomes a supplier of cattle, salt, and other goods to Confederate forces. Coastal blockades strain trade. Eye visuals depict Confederate supply routes, cattle drives to ports, and towns coping with shortages. Post-war, Florida enters Reconstruction phase, facing political instability, economic challenges, and social restructuring. Railroads continue to expand southward, farming diversifies, early industry, ports, and lumber production rise. Steamships connect Florida to northern cities, boosting commerce. Eye scenes illustrate construction of docks, logging operations, and settlements, transforming into structured towns. Florida's warm climate attracts northern visitors. Hotels and small resorts emerge along coastlines. Tourism begins shaping local economies, even if on a modest scale. Eye visuals show early beach resorts, wooden piers, and steamship passengers arriving. Efforts to drain wetlands increase, reshaping the environment. Canals and levees make previously unusable land available for farming and settlement. Reconstruction depicts construction crews, changing landscapes, and new farmland emerging from swamp. Railroad tycoons push lines deep into central and southern Florida. Previously isolated areas now open for agriculture, settlements, and trade. Eye visuals show trains cutting through swamps, towns forming around stations, and economic activity increasing dramatically. Ports expand along the Atlantic and Gulf coasts. Jacksonville, Tampa, and Key West become regional trade centers. Eye scenes depict cargo ships, warehouses, docks, and bustling marketplaces. By the end of the century, Florida has shifted from a wilderness frontier to an organized, semi-connected state. Railroads, ports, farms, and early tourism have permanently changed the landscape. Wilderness remains in some areas, but human presence is now dominant. The 19th century sets the stage for Florida's explosive growth in the 20th century. Roads, railroads, towns, ports, and industry lay the foundations of the state we know today. Eye visuals show a juxtaposition of wilderness and emerging urban centers, signaling the end of an era and the beginning of a new century. Florida enters the 20th century transformed. This was 19th century Florida, reconstructed through AI, a century that shaped the land, the people, and the future of one of America's most dynamic states.